You know, I just love coming out here and looking at my train layout. Really hasn't gone that far since Darley left for Ohio, but I think we'll get there someday. It almost makes me wonder, what should I buy next for this layout now that it's ultimately come to a halt? I mean, we have the Amtrak 510, we have two CMW engines, the 8646 and 8651, both need a slight bit of work, especially 8651. The only newest thing I got was this semi-truck that's not even in the right scale. It just makes me wonder, since we've come to a halt, do I even need to be buying anything anymore? I want to, but what am I? What is the one engine or the one company that I've wanted down here for the longest time? That's right. I'm gonna go buy a normal essential engine. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, well, it finally came. This is a box. Nothing special about it. It's just a box. Don't worry about it. I have not put any teasers out whatsoever for what I'm about to package, which I do apologize. It's just I wanted to make it a very big surprise to everybody watching this. We got a package, an unopened package actually, and well, I'm sure your guys' curiosity is piquing, especially from what I just said 5 seconds ago. So since my curiosity is piquing, I've been waiting all day to open this, and it's like 3 o'clock. And I've been waiting ever since I got it at 11, or not even 11, around 10 o'clock I got this package delivered. But I'm finally home and I can finally open it. If you're wondering about this, I went to my sister's gender reveal party today. It's a boy. So I'm going to be a great uncle. It's always good to know that. It puts a smile on my face. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. But with all that being said, let's go step into the other room that has a little bit better lighting, a little bit better, pretty much everything. It's a smaller space, more comfortable, not all this stuff. I know you guys are looking at all this, okay? Don't stop looking at this. Pretty, I know. We're focused on the box today, okay? Can you focus on this box? Thank you, okay. Now that I have your attention, let us step in the other room and I can finally open this package after waiting for weeks. Now we finally found ourselves in a more comfortable room, especially the more cool room, because the vent for the AC is literally right by the camera. So there's nothing to really see about this box whatsoever, just my name and address. So I'm going to blur that out, of course. No one need to know where I live. It's personal information. I'm going to use this box cutter that's brought to me by Menards. Well, I guess I should say bought by me at Menards, because I bought it at Menards. So the funniest thing about this package is it took the weirdest route ever. It is currently the 27th, Saturday, and I was supposed to get this package Thursday. And then I was supposed to get it Friday. And then it said today, finally it came through. The reason it took so long is because when it arrived at St. Louis, Missouri, it decided to go to South Dakota and then go back to St. Louis, Missouri. USPS, y'all got some stuff to figure out here. Because I was supposed to have this a few days ago. Thankfully, it arrived in one piece. Now, not only is this a very special case, this is the first locomotive, I'm just going to say it's a locomotive. This is the first of its kind. And I don't mean it in a sense as this is a prototype engine, because it's not. Okay, it's not one of a kind. There's been many of these manufactured in our life. But we have never possessed anything that was manufactured by this company. And this company is none other, hold on, I'll get there, than Broadway Limited. Let me confirm the box is down. it is. Broadway Limited Paragon 4. What does that mean? I have no idea. But this is very, very good boxing. I must say, this is beautiful. Synchronized full spectrum sounds you can feel, really. And up here, HO scale dual mode, sound and operation for DC and DCC. So this is a DCC locomotive. We're going to go ahead and take it out of the packaging. There it is. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can't see it, but I can. Ooh, that is sexy. All right. With the packaging out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and make an attempt to open this a little bit better. If you will allow me to. Oh, just like that. Literally just, Jesus, the packaging on this is amazing. Wow, okay. Are you guys ready to see what this is? I know it's very, very tiny at this point. You can't really see it because of all the plastic. Oh my God, this packaging. Holy crap, this Jesus. This is better packaging than the, oh, what's that company? God, I am so sorry. Oh, the Iowa Interstate Intermountain doesn't even have packaging like this. I believe this side has to come off, and it should just, one of these sides should open. Which one, to be honest with you? Wait, is this it? Yep. There we go. Look at that. Now, there it is. You guys did not tell, you didn't get the hint. I have finally bought my first Illinois Central engine. Illinois Central 6030, an sd40-2, originally built for the Illinois Central Gulf, and then painted to its Death Star livery. Soon after, the Illinois Central decided they wanted to forget about the GMO, the Gulf Bowl in Ohio. The company merged with Illinois Central to make Illinois Central Gulf. They just said, nope, we're going to go back to Illinois Central. And thank God, too. I mean, rest in peace, the GMO. Thank God, because this paint scheme is so beautiful. For those who do not know, I have a, some would say, very unhealthy obsession with the Illinois Central Railroad. I can't help it. But this is amazing. Obviously, because it has DCC, I cannot use those features, unfortunately, but I can still run it on the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get you guys as close as humanly possible. That way we can actually, you can get a better look at this engine, and you can stop looking at me and my Menards blink. So give me 1 second. I'm going to put the sd40-2 down. Ooh, that is beautiful. It's just like seeing the 6071 on its own. Except this is better, I don't. Alright, we're going to take a quick cut. I'm going to move you guys a little closer. Alright. Alright guys, a little bit closer here. You guys can work with me now. So here is a way closer look that I'm sure a bunch of people prefer. Here it is once again, Illinois Central 6030, a Operation Lifesaver unit. Isn't that something? Here's a look at the nose. You can see where it got its famous Death Star paint scheme. And as you can see, you got the ditch lights, you got the headlights up there, you even got the horn, which I will talk about the horn. There's the other side with the Operation Lifesaver logo. And then there's nothing on the back. As there really shouldn't be. Cool thing about this engine, you look inside, there's people in there. Look at that. There's somebody in there driving our engine. Let's take a look at the conductor. I mean, yeah, wait, yeah, the conductor. Look at that. For you guys, it doesn't look like the conductor. Trust me, that's the conductor. Now, I am unsure if it exactly works on this engine in terms of everything. I have never worked with Broadway Limited before. I have never bought anything from Broadway Limited before, so I'm not really sure what all this engine does. I can see, just by looking at the front there, looks pretty realistic. Looks like we have the hoses back there, but hit them behind the plow. We got a really nice coupler right there. So you got the windows and the windshield wipers, which is good to have. You got all the grab irons, is what I want to say about this. All the grab irons are present on this engine. There are a few things I do want to talk about. For one, the horn. I have a horn expert, is my best friend. His name is Ken. If you're watching this, thank you for this information. And also, hey Ken, how's it going? My buddy Ken, I was very excited to show this engine to him, and he was very excited to see it. But he couldn't help but notice the horn looked a little funny. And when he pointed it out, I'm like, I'll get you a closer picture, Ken. And he's like, that's a Leslie horn. I'm like, okay. He's like, that horn was never on this engine. I'm like, really? He's like, the Illinois Central is actually very famous for using P5 train horns. Specifically, a 5-chime P5 with 3 forward and 2 backward trumpets. And I'm like, what can I do about this, Ken? He's like, I mean, if you want to go for the realistic detail, you could just order your own horn. That's exactly what I did. Unfortunately, it has yet to come in yet because it's literally been a few days. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to paint it, which means whenever Durley comes back, he is somewhere. He went to Oshkosh, Wisconsin. He'll be back Monday. I'm going to have him help me carefully, professionally take off this train horn, and then I'm going to add the P5. That way, this can be realistic. Obviously, the DCC horn is going to sound the exact same. There's nothing much I can do about that. But I really do appreciate him giving me the necessary information I needed, because when it comes to an engine like this, I care a lot about attention for detail. Every other engine I've gotten, the attention to detail is phenomenal. Nothing wrong with it. Again, another thing I noticed is this engine has class lights. For those who do not know what class lights are, they would be red, green, and white. Class lights were mainly used, they were mainly used back when engines like the sd40-2 were running around. A little bit earlier, actually, they'd be used to signify the front or the rear of the train. If an engine was on the rear of its train, facing this way, nose out, these would be turned to red to signify this is the rear of the train. And there was another light mechanism. I want to say it was green. Don't quote me, please. Don't get mad, because I watched this video a few days ago only once. I saw a video talking about class lights. A color, whatever color it is, differs if it's on a siding or not. The railroad employees would actually turn these, I want to say they turn them to green. If they were on a siding, that way the train knew, hey, this is the end of the train, and it's good to pass. I don't know if it was green. It was green or red. They would change it to signify you're good to go around us on the switch over. So that's pretty cool. These class lights are not functional. They are been patched over. The only issue I have is when I looked at the Illinois Central 6030 from the Rail Pictures Archives. I can't remember what the website is. I looked at the Illinois Central Gulf 6030 and the Illinois Central 6030, which are the exact same engine. They somehow managed to keep the same road number. And throughout its whole lifetime, keep in mind, this was originally built for the Illinois Central Gulf. It was not bought by somebody else. It was not bought from a scrapyard. This engine was built from the ground up for the Illinois Central Gulf, and then repainted into the Death Star's paint scheme when the Illinois Central Gulf decided to stop being the Illinois Central Gulf for whatever reason they did that. So the class lights are not supposed to be there, yet they are. It doesn't really upset me, but when it comes to detail, that's not really something I can get rid of, and that's something I have to deal with that's on my engine now until the end of time. I'm not really too upset about it. Not really upset about it at all. It's just, I was really hoping that they wouldn't be there. When I saw the pictures, I'm like, oh man, not really big of a deal. They don't even function. They're hard to see. They blend in. I mean, the engine's full black. It's hard to see most of the details in the first place. So I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, getting a closer look at this engine, I'm going to pick it up so I can see this real quick. Oh, would you look at that? Looks like the footboards and climbing up are actually all see-through. That is amazing. Talk about attention to detail. Same thing on the rear. Yep, same thing on the rear. Just give me 1 second, guys. Now, like I said, I really haven't had a time to look at this engine at all until 5 seconds ago, so please excuse how I act. Because I literally have not been able to look at this till 5 seconds ago. So, sure enough, engineered conductor, that's pretty cool. Not too much going on the underneath of the locomotive. All there is the Broadway Limited Imports LLC. Not really much going on down here. Not that much detail. Of course, there's a bunch of detail on the trucks, as it should be. I can't tell you what to look at when they're on the trucks, what's on the trucks, but there's definitely some good attention to detail there. There's a fuel cap, Operational Lifesaver logo. Look at the front one more time, get you guys a real close view at the front. As you can see those class lights sticking out. You can see the incorrect horn. But you can also see the cables hidden behind the plow there. Not cables, but the air hose connectors. And then, this side, same thing on this side. We got our friendly conductor doing his thing. Got the Operational Lifesaver logo. Got the trucks. And Bob's your uncle. Nothing really much to see on the back. I will show it to you guys. Here's the back. See the hoses. See the number boards. Pretty much it. So, I think with all being said, I should probably put this on the layout because, well, what else am I going to do with it? Just keep it here? Like, oh, this is the end of the video, guys. Kidding. So let's go ahead and jump into the other room again. I know. And we're going to throw this thing on the layout and hope to God that this is perfectly fine because I do know I bought it off of eBay for about $190, which is actually fairly cheap because these things go for over $200. The reason this one, it said it was barely used, only used a few times, the seller said, and he said he's selling it off because he is switching over to Steam. I respect that. I can already tell you by the looks, at least the shell looks beautiful. Nothing wrong with it. I will go ahead and take a quick look at the trucks. Oh yeah, those trucks are shiny just like the picture showed. I like to see that. I've been getting screwed over on eBay these past few times, so it's good to see that everything is actually how it was described to me for the first time in a while. All that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the other room. We're going to throw this thing on the layout and we'll see what happens from there. Alright, finally back in the other room. Didn't take too long. Alright, finally go ahead and throw this engine on the layout to see what happens. Really get a better way of drilling this thing in the color. We've already accomplished something here today. Not only is this the first Illinois Central engine that I bought, and the most expensive, so this is also the first sd40-2 to touch this layout in all of its history, which is not that old. I mean, in terms of me owning it, it's not that old. In terms of how long it's been around, it's pretty old. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the one and only IC sd40-2 to touch this layout. All that being said, I'm going to go over here, turn on the controls, boop, boop. Now, grab my drink. We're going to get this thing moving. I have no idea how it's making noises. That is a lot of power it takes. Whew. It's I truly am amazed. I prefer going that slow. So even on DC, it's making noise. It's throttling up. I think it's stuck in the green. Oh, it's also derailed. Wow, alright. Yeah, it derailed itself somehow. Go ahead and start the engine. How do you already derail yourself? I just fixed it. It just derailed itself immediately. Come on. Oh, lost it. That is weird how it takes so much to make it move. It's got brake sounds too. Get an idle. There it is. I'm assuming that's idle. Wow. I mean, you guys are seeing the same thing I am. This thing is making noise without it even. That's not DCC. That is amazing. And it's idling. Wow. Air compressor's going off. This just got so much better. Holy shit. The power bank has to get to about almost 90% of the way just to get it to move. And right now, it's a little bit past 75, and we're at an idle. That is amazing. I don't know if that's a bad thing that it takes that much energy to get it to move. I've never had that happen. I mean, there's no conductivity issue in this layout that I know of. I mean, honestly, it's working perfectly fine over there. That is so cool, man. My dad's never gonna believe this one. But I think I just got a DCC train that is somehow doing the good gist of it just on DC itself. Well, because we are getting this very rare occurrence where it's idling, I'm going to get you guys a little bit closer so you can enjoy the sounds of an sd40-2. believe she's pulling. Though it doesn't make much sense for an Illinois Central to be pulling a BNSF modern grade boxcar. That's one of the only ones that's still running, nothing wrong with it. Hopefully it's over this bridge without derailling again. Same spot. I don't know why it does that. No other engine seems to do it. I'll get it sorted out. Should do it. Well, I mean, there's not really much else to say or do with this engine. It's very cool, that is for sure. I'll pair up with another engine, but I don't want to. Another engine starts moving way before this one does in terms of power. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's something I should be worried about. I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but I don't know if I should be or not. I mean, yeah, there you have it. Just Illinois Central 6030. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. It looks like it's not too much just to cover. I feel like we covered all the bases just fine. This is definitely an improvement. One of the older engines, so to speak, but I think it fits great in with these other classics sitting out in the way out here. Of course, the Hy-Vee truck. In terms of the engines, it fits in with all the other cars. New, actually. But, what are you looking at? Oh. Yeah, I got a new hoodie. Thanks for noticing. What's that? Where I got it? I'd be more excited if it was my sponsor today, but I don't think I'll ever get a sponsor. It's just a new hoodie I picked up from Safety Shirts. I will be leaving a description. The link in the description. Not sponsored, but I gotta say, this thing's nice. I look a little crazy wearing it, 80-degree weather, but it's nice and cold down here, so I can get away with it. But very nice, soft material, comfortable. The reflective taping is reflective, and as you can see, this is the one of the many American grip ones. They don't do them all like this. It's got the American flag down here, stuff on the back, and the hood. And there's a nice stripe right there, which is cool. It's rare that any company that makes hoodies ever puts anything on the hood, it seems like. Would definitely recommend checking them out. I got this. It was on clearance, which is good because they, not gonna lie, they're expensive, but I see why. This is a very nice sweatshirt. I'm gonna be wearing this for as long as I physically can. I look really good in orange. It goes along really well with my hat. But with all that being said, I should probably go ahead and shut the old Illinois Central down before it needs to be refilled, because don't tell anybody, we don't have a gas tanker or a refill yard to put it in so we can get more diesel in it. So we're just going to turn them off so we can save a little bit here. Don't tell the guys that they're going to need to preserve as much diesel as possible. Thank you guys so much for coming in. It is you people that watch me that made me make the crazy move to buy this engine. I would have probably bought it anyway, but I like to buy it because, well, I like getting stuff for the layout. And the layout, I'd probably do it if I didn't put it on YouTube the same way, but I kind of like making videos on the layout. It's something different instead of just the train every night, which, I'm sorry. Try not to use the same excuse, but I don't have a car. I can't just drive wherever I want, unfortunately, so we're going to have to stick with the Iowa Interstate for a little longer. But thankfully, with Gurley being back from Ohio, we're going to be able to do a bunch of stuff. He just has to get back from Oshkosh, Wisconsin now, and we're going to be doing a lot more. Hopefully the layout is going to be brought up pretty soon. I told Gurley I prefer to dedicate a weekend, at least one of the days out of the weekend, to the layout. And he says, unfortunately, he wants to tear up everything because the foam bed is really not that good. The soldering connections, although not causing any connectivity issues, he admitted they're not his best. I don't know what good soldering connections really look like, so to me, the ones he did are pretty good. But we're going to need to buy a cork road bed, and we're going to have to do it. Pretty much everything that's laid down all over. We got to fix the elevations, make everything level. We still have to fix the trestle bridge. Unfortunately, we're a long ways away from this thing being fully functional. Once more, we can go everywhere. The yard will be staying the same. Everything that is set how it is right now is kind of how I want it to stay. Obviously, if we have to tear it up, that's okay, but this is how I want the yard to look. Obviously, we're going to have this is just here because static display purposes. Obviously, I don't know if everyone can see the yard, but we have an endpoint here, and then right over here, we have a switch. You can either go into this other endpoint, or you can go underneath this, which might become an issue very soon. I'm not 100% sure. And then you'll be able to loop right back into this switch right here, which the lever is about right there. Doesn't need to work, but it does. And this signal box is hopefully going to be staying there. Everything that's on the layout is kind of how I want it to look in the end. Obviously, a bunch of the vehicles do not match the time zone, but we don't really have a set time zone. We're just kind of, this is our first layout that we've ever put together, so we're kind of just doing whatever we want. Classic EMD diesels and very, I don't want to say modern, but fairly modern engines. I mean, AC4400s, though, I think one of them is, and maybe they're both Dash 9s. No, they're both Dash 9s. But we have AC4400s, ES44, C4s, ACs. We have an Alco RS3, and it's all in the same time period. So, really, we're just doing whatever we want until we get a layout where we're actually going to set in stone a time period. But if we just want to throw a classic Alco RS3 with a very modern locomotive, we're going to go to this layout. But the trestle bridge will obviously fit in that gap, so you can either go in a full circle, or you can go into the yard and do some shunting movements. That's kind of what I'm hoping for at the end game. Really, I just want this to be a continuous loop of the track to be fine, because I like to have confidence in the track. I don't have much confidence that I can full throttle and not derail, especially with very expensive engines I keep buying. Thank you, Menards, for paying me. Not sponsored. But I really don't have much confidence in this layout in terms of no derails, especially because just going over simple parts at slow speeds, Illinois Central derailed. Obviously, didn't get too bad, but still, it's something I worry about at the end of the day, and I like to not, if I could, not to worry about that stuff anymore and be able to make them go in a loop and be able to look away for 5 seconds and not look back at the engines on the floor. Especially after the sd40 ACE went off, that was a pretty terrifying incident, I will admit. We've had they've only had the 2 accidents actually. The ES44C4 not caught on camera. That took a tumble, went around the curve at full speed and did exactly what you would think it would do. That was before all this was implemented. And then the sd40 ACE was just chilling, not moving, and unfortunately gravity took it down. and that actually broke. An engine going at full speed that went off. I want to say it was one of these corners, like right here. The ES44C4 was coming around the bend. It flipped over, hit here, and fell on the ground. Scratches, just scratches. Walther's mainline. You make incredible engines. Really, like if that was recorded, that would be a commercial for Walther's mainline to buy their trains, because that was one hell of a fall, and it was fine. The same company, Walther's mainline, the sd40 ACE, was sitting, I want to say, it was on one of these bends. It was either right here, or right there. And at the time, Durley was fixing that light right there. And unfortunately, randomly an earthquake happened, and the engine, without moving, just fell on the ground. And it somehow has been out of commission for over a year now. If the ES44C4, while moving in motion, perfectly fine. So I don't know if that's saying the ES44C4 is better than the SD70 Ace, but I'm saying it's better than the Ace, because the Ace is it's out of commission. I don't know if I'll ever see it get fixed, because it seems like Walther's has been very troublesome lately. But oh, here goes the air compressor again. So after dragging that out, my apologies, we'll go ahead and end off this video. I will see you guys in about a few hours when I go down to watch Iowa. If they show up, it's a Saturday, so I'm not going to confirm anything, because honestly, my luck, I'll just be down there. Nothing will happen, because that's kind of how Saturdays go. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Illinois Central engine, because I don't even know how you put it back in the box, because that casing, like, I thought the one for the Iowa Interstate was the best. Oh my god. Like, that design is literally made for comfort. Like, that thing was not going anywhere inside that shell. So, thank you, Broadway Limited, for delivering a beautiful piece. Thank God eBay came through and that seller was saying the truth for a second. When it wasn't moving, I was like, oh shit. But no, it just takes a lot of power. I mean, right now, it's on like any other engine would be flying right now, and it's chilling, having a good time, doing its thing, being an engine. So I'm going to go ahead and end off this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow I'm going to be making a road trip to Bloomington, Illinois, and not going to see much, probably just an Amtrak engine. But that's what I will be, so probably all it's going to be seen in Bloomington is just an Amtrak engine. We'll see what happens. But with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I do. Hey, engineer, please shut the engine off. Thank you. I know that's not the sound they make when they shut off, but that's the sound that one made when it shut off. So thank you guys for tuning in. So I really appreciate everyone who was watching. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I really wish I anticipated this more to kind of bring up the excitement, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the surprise visit from the Illinois Central. Mainline to Middle America, over 100 years. Damn you, Canadian National. Sorry, what? All that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Whichever one you decide to click on, guarantee you I will be there. And, with all that being said, I bid you good day.